My fiance left me for his one that got away and cancelled our wedding. Now he's crawling back to me because it was the biggest mistake of his life. Plus all updates. My fiance and I had been together for 3 years. He was my first boyfriend. We laughed, cried, worried, and were happy together. He was my best friend, confidence, support, and comfort. I looked at him and could see our future together. I never thought something like this could happen to me. The man I loved could have never done anything like that to me. It all started about 2 months ago. His ex, high school sweetheart together for 7 years, moved back to our country and wanted to catch up with Mark. He told me they broke up because they could not sustain an LDR when she left to pursue postgraduate studies. They hadn't been in contact for about 5 years. She sent him an email and he showed it to me, and it was completely platonic. She was just curious about what he had become. He asked me if he could meet her, and I said yes. I trusted him. So he went, but when he returned, he was a bit withdrawn. He is usually chatty but was dismissive when I asked how it went. I let it go. However, in the following weeks, he was often on his phone. He picked random fights with me and didn't look me in the eyes when we had at sex, didn't whisper loving words either. I'm touchy/clingy, and in our 3 years together, he had never once recoiled or refused my embrace, but he started doing it. I usually hug him like a koala when he returns home from work, but he only lets me do it twice. It was such a sudden change. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he wasn't feeling too good then. On a Saturday, I visited his grandma, as we usually knit together, and I was gone the whole day. I feel close to her. When I came back, I found him packing his stuff. My whole world fell apart. He was being so cowardly. He told me he was sorry for making me suffer like this, but sometimes life gives you a second chance, and you have to recognize it for what it is. He loved me but realized the feelings weren't the same when he met his ex. He said he regretted letting go of her. That he had found himself again. It had been a difficult choice for him, but he had to take this chance. His ex wanted him back. She had realized what she had lost and risked losing for good when he told her he was getting married. He refused her initially, but as time passed and they talked together, his old feelings returned. He hoped I would forgive him one day and understand. I cried as he was talking. It sounded stupid, but it was like a stranger in front of me. He said he would still pay rent and part of the bills until our lease was up and I could find another place. He makes a lot more than me, and I couldn't afford to live in our apartment alone. I begged him not to make this mistake, that he was being fooled by an idealized memory of their past together, that he was having cold feet, but he was like a wall. He didn't even look at me. At about 10 p.m., a truck was outside with one of his friends waiting for him. He came to help him move. I wasn't close to that particular friend, but he seemed sorry for me. Mark hugged me goodbye and left. I hadn't cried that hard in years. I slept in our spare room, not to feel the emptiness of our room with his things gone. I sank to the deepest pathetic and tried to call him, but it went to voicemail. I had no idea where he went, but I assumed he was now living with his ex after 3 weeks of talking again. How ridiculous. I'm really lucky to have supportive friends and family. My best friend even moved in for 5 days. My parents wanted me back home, but I wasn't ready to leave. Mark is a bit messy, and I'm manic, so having everything perfectly neat felt weird. I missed his messiness. It was as if he was the one making our house a home. He used to joke about me wanting the house to look like it was on sale or in a catalog. Not waking up to make breakfast and not seeing him read lying on the sofa while I studied felt weird. Not buying his favorite snack or powdered proteins when doing groceries felt weird. I felt lost at first. It was like grieving. Usually, when people break up, their relationship goes south, but to me, it comes out of nowhere. I still loved him. I was still planning the wedding and working on my side to build our future together. It was all gone in a day. I wish I had been smarter and refused to meet his one that got away. His family was dumbfounded. I still went to see his grandma, and she told me he was a fool and that he would come crawling back to me. She was the first person who managed to make me laugh.